connect, serve, and grow is what you can expect at the House of Reconciliation. Leadership, community, education, wellness, and participation is part of our plan for your spiritual growth and success. Family and faith is a core value for the House of Reconciliation, working to help people find their purpose. Want to make an impact in the kingdom? Ready to tap into your future? Meet us at the House Sundays with Pastor Reginald Campbell. www.houseofreconciliation.org.
Yeah, there's a new thing, and welcome everybody in. This is Successful Living, and there's a new thing that I didn't know about, because we're talking about planning your future. And someone came up with something that either was heard or created. It says, started from the bottom and you're still there. And you're still there. And still here. Okay, let me get it right. Because you know somebody be out there talking. Still here. All right. Yeah, started from the bottom and you're still here. Welcome in. Thank those that are from the Mother Campus and as well as those that are here. We're going to do a little bit of successful living. I think the topic you saw is planning your future. And I thought it was significant when someone was just saying you started from the bottom and you're still here. And so I'm just going to take a few minutes to talk about how are you really planning for your future. Let me help you with this. Your future has to be outside of your job. It has to be outside of your future. Outside of your job and your career. Because systems and the system will change. I probably talked to in the last 3 to 4 days the older baby boomers who thought they would not be alive or would not be around or somehow something would change. And with the present inflation index, cost of living, and all of that, they don't have enough, as old people would say, to make ends meet. So to all the generations, how do you plan your future beyond your job and beyond your career? Now, your job can end. Your career can change. What have you put in place to bring in sustainable income to maintain your present life and be able to handle your future responsibilities? I guess right now don't nobody want to talk to me. I do have a mic if y'all want to ask a question. Because this is, I love church, I love people, I didn't know I really love finances. But the question is, this is the time. And let me break it out this way. And I know the Gen X and that group will probably say, well, I've got another 20 years. Here's the reality. It's going to take 10 to 15 years for your seed or for your talent to germinate before it can reproduce. Because in business, it used to be your first 3 to 5 years, then it went from 5 to 7 years, and now it's 7 to 10 years. You're going to invest more than you receive. It's like in education. You pay for it up front. At some point in your life, it should start paying you back. And if you wait till you're 35 to start planting seeds for your future, you will not even begin to get crops. If you look at the apple series, even if you graft a tree with a more mature tree or a plant with a more mature tree, it's still going to take 7 to 8 years. So the question becomes, if you don't put something in place now, you're not guaranteed to have a place later. Anybody have a comment? And so I think it's very significant, and get ready for your comment, for when someone said, you started from the bottom and you're still here. So I want to kind of bring you into a surreal moment that how are you going to function? And so I know there's a group that said, well, I've been on my job 15 years. I've been here 20 years. I've got 3 more years to do. I have seen people let go in the last 5 days that had been on their job for 28 years, 30 years. And so people say, well, they got to give me my money. Let me explain to you the other side of the industry. The other side of the industry, there's a thing called freezing the assets. So your 401k, your pension, I don't think we have proper sharing existing anymore, can be frozen for 20 to 25 years. You receive nothing, and you receive no interest for the 25 years that is frozen, but the company does. So I say again, what are you doing and what are you considering in planning your future?
As you try to set yourself in place for your future, how do you measure your growth?
You measure your growth by the expectation of your reality and the point of inflation. So I would do it this way. If inflation is at 3.5, to predict my future, I would put inflation at 7%. That gives me a cushion. If I have, and you need to look at weekly, monthly, quarterly, what's my income? What's my lifestyle? Most people now, everybody's excited about their property value went up, but also your property taxes went up. Okay? So the thing that you have to do is go back to the Joseph principle. And Joseph broke it down for every meal per day. So when I'm prospering, I need to save 1.5. So I would say in year 2024, for one meal, I need to set 3 meals to the side. So if I need $1,000 a month, I need to set aside $4,000 and take $1,000 to pay my responsibilities and the 3 to invest to bring me more. Did that help you? So you should measure it based on, and I always tell people, you really don't get the laws of average until you measure something from 5 to 7 years. Because in 1 year, you're going to have an anomaly to where things are really, really going to go well. And then in another year, you're going to have disasters where things really, really go bad. So out of the number of 5, now you can get an accurate assessment. So if it takes $3,000 a month for my family, I need to create revenue, which talks about diversifying your streams of income. I think one of the optimal words that are missing here is it takes early sacrifices to have long-term sustainability. It takes early sacrifices. And this is going to sound ugly, and nobody's going to like me when I say this. There's sometimes that this year we can't take a vacation because we got to put this over into this. So to take the family and it's $3,500, let me look up at the camera. We're going to be at home barbecuing in the backyard. Okay? Am I making sense? Because we have to put this money to go to work, and especially if it's a couple, because one job, and the average person now I think is making between $60,000 and $110,000 a year. So if your spouse, male or female, were to lose that, you just lost $110,000 a year. That's not recoverable right now in the marketplace because people who make that kind of money don't normally get a job to the latter clause of second quarter, the beginning of third quarter, and sometime gone before the end of fourth quarter. They'll hire you all day at $10,000 to $20,000 to $25,000. Did that answer the question? Don't look at me like that. Do I now? That's the whole point. You need like 10 jobs to make up that $100,000 income. And so when you go to apply for a job, the first thing you're going to hear is you're overqualified and your pay doesn't meet our budget. Because when you took that job, you didn't start out at $110,000, $125,000. That evolved over 10 or 15 years. The problem is people's investments have not evolved over the last 10 or 15 years because the first nature of humanity is consumption. So I am going to consume and assume that my job is going to be here. And so what happens is, coming from the consumer, well, I need at least $60,000, and they will tell you that's not in our budget. But if you come in at $35,000, we think no, that's just the reality. And I always tell people, well, that's going to knock down my job. You don't have a job. It's easier to get a job with a job and say, this job has been my transit job. This is my in-between. There's another word they call it. Interim job to get back to what I need. So to your point, which nobody's going to like this, I'm glad I only got 8 minutes. Most people are living above their means because they're trying to impress their peers and supersede their parents and not see their future.
How is that detrimental to their future?
When your job ends, it'll show you. When you've been getting, I'm just, this is why I wanted to have a conversation. Let's say you've been making $135,000. You've been making that for the last 3 or 4 years. So your family, your sons and your daughters, and they're using, Pop, I want to go here. I go. Swiping the card because you have an income. That's the trick of corporations. Because nobody want to ask themselves, is it really needed? Is he going to die because he didn't go to the football game and spend $85 on snacks and his friends? See, we are appeasing the moment and not solidify. Because can I share this with you? I've dealt with quite a few heavy hitters this week, and they are projected, well, not really projected, just waiting on their checks, that by the end of December the 31st, 2 partners will walk away with about $12.5 million in cash apiece for selling assets that they've owned for 10, 12 years. And the highest price asset that they own, they paid $305,000 for it. And now they got a windfall of about $12.5 million coming to them. You know why? They sacrificed 10, 15 years ago. And so they told me this week, we don't care who the president is. We have enough income and we pay for everything we own. We didn't take money to go do things. So now in our golden light years, we are still churning out. And I said, so what are you going to do next? They said, we're getting out of residential property. We're going strictly commercial. See, we get 1 or 2 things, and we think we hot coffee. We get 1 or 2 things. And we think, you got the slides rolling over there? Yeah, this is a little different. Find the one we got. We think we're hot coffee because we have a 3% increase coming in, but it has nothing to do with sustainability.
I have
So,
a question.
yeah.
You were making a statement about appeasing the moment and not solidifying. What was the last
Solidifying the future.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, see, when you appease the moment, everybody's happy. Oh, Dad, you're the greatest dad. You're the greatest mom. Oh, you're the best mom in the world. And when everybody is sitting outside the house, nobody's great. See, everybody in business and in finances, everybody's happy when they're receiving or spending. No one talks about producing or planting, or first of all, planting and planting to produce. So what I would say here for the last 6 minutes, have you diversified your investments enough? The great Warren Buffett did not get to where he was with one stock. He diversified his portfolio over time. This is one of the reasons he never moved out of the same house he's been in since the 1950s. We get a little change, and we move in next month. That you said it, you did it. We distributed it. We're not planting it. We're not planning. And then we look around at other people and say, oh, what? What's, you what? You don't have, my God, what are you all doing? That's because you got a job today. And see, here's what happens. Companies know when you're 3 years out from maxing out. And then you get that supervisor that the devil can't even stand. And they're there to weed you out. So when you leave, what do you have working for you? So let me give you one. Our diversity is our freedom. The problem is people do too much of what they like and not enough of what will produce. So I know I'm going to have some questions on this one, because if y'all not looking well, I know they ain't well. Can we just all have a moment, just... Okay, so my question would be, and this is why I don't know why I'm in finances. I'm still trying to figure that out. My question would be, what's building wealth for you? Now, let me say, I don't want to be rich. You know why? Rich people show what their richness. They show what they have. And people who can't have what they have say they're rich. So rich people are stuck on the moment. Wealthy people have things producing for them that keeps them, let me say this slow, that keeps them from spending their money. So when they go out to eat, they're buying a bottle of wine with your money. What's building wealth for you? What? All your friends you pull up in your car. Oh man, look at this golf clothes, man. Man, look at her hair. Man, she paid $500 for that hair, and it be gone and out in 2 weeks. He paid $300 for that hair piece he got. Because men wear hair pieces, women. Y'all better talk to somebody. You spending more on things that don't produce. And I know everybody don't have a head to wear baldness. And now I try to get me a hair piece and they won't let me. See how the devil works? But what's building wealth for you? While our kids are playing games and in sports, there are other people that are teaching their kids how to make our kids work for them. You can't control what you don't own.
What are some examples of wealth-building machines or instruments?
I would say it to you like this. I want us to break it out together. What basically doesn't lose value? And that's here and returns an investment. Whether it's built, planted, leased, or what? Land. The two guys who are about to get the windfall, and here's what they are teaching me. They say, here's what we're going to do, Reggie. We're going to go ahead and build this. Because, see, they listen. And we're going to build 3 levels. And we're going to sell the first level, rent the second level, and put a bar on the 3rd level on the same property. See, I had to learn, and this is going to be, and it may not be a shock to you, but it was a shock to me. The gentleman said, I'm going to sell that land 5 times. Come on, talk to me. Ask me how.
How?
I'm going to build 5 bays. I pay one price for the land. You're going to buy the building and pay for the land. That's yours. I have nothing else to do with it. I'm going to sell the next section B. I'm going to sell it to you, and I'm going to sell the land. That's twice I've sold the land. And I'm going to repeat that 3 more times. So I bought the land for $30,000. I have made $185 or $200,000 off of. That's the power of the seed. If you don't have the seed, you don't have any bartering power. You don't have any negotiating power. And so on the land that he already owns, he's going to build the first level and sell it, build the second one for a wedding complex and entertainment looking out over the lake. And then upstairs, build a top chef bar looking out over the lake. They take 1 square and figure how to sell it 1,000 times. Question? Come on, this is conversation. There you go. There you go. But the wedding reception has a little bar in it too. So you can shop, have your entertainment, and go upstairs to last call. No, I'm just because there are certain groups that are still looking for miracles. And then there are groups that are planting seeds. So my question is, as I get ready to close, what's building wealth for you? And here's the kicker. It should be able to work without you at some point and time. Some people see bills, other people see investments, other people see perpetual income. It depends on your vision and your view. I'm going to give you 4 things, and we're going to go. Number 1 is learn how to plan. And when you get your infrastructure, you need to get other wealthy people or successful people to chime in on what your idea is. Number 1, plan. Are we with me? Okay? Number 2, you're going to have to plant. Now, you can't plant today. Yes, because some of y'all coffee addicts, do you know how long Google real quick, wake up, Google, get your phone out. Google real quick how long it takes for a coffee bean to become a seed to get in a cup of coffee. Don't bet don't bat your eyes at me like that. How long? Yes, you too. Look it up. How long does it take a coffee seed to turn around and produce, to germinate and produce coffee? Yeah. Yeah. So while they're looking at that, number 1 plan. What's your plan? I'm going to try to stay here. I'm going to try to stay, man, they got benefits. You can buy your own benefits.
It takes 3 to 4 years for a coffee tree to bear fruit after planting.
What am I supposed to do? But you're getting what somebody else has planted. They're reaping the harvest, and you're getting the residue because they got the seed, and the seed's going to keep producing. And at some point, can I make it plain? You put nothing in it but get 99% out of it. Okay. Remember when I said what without having you work it? So if it takes 3 to 5 years or 5 to 7 years, man, there are people chiming in like crazy on this one. Oh, Jesus. I don't want nobody to be waiting on me outside. But I mean, am I making sense? You've got to plan. You don't have a plan. When you don't have a plan, you become someone else's puppet.
If you don't have a plan, you're going to be working somebody else's plan.
So just for coffee. Now, I want you to look up. I want to teach you here. How many coffee beans comes from an average coffee tree? I know how much comes from an apple tree. An apple that has fully matured, and it doesn't mature until after the 10th year. Most investments cannot come into play until 10 years. And the first crop is going to be small. Many people have quit investing because you were too hungry to let your investment mature. And once it matures, that tree can function for 110 plus years and produce 1,000 apples per year, which means out of that you have 4 seeds minimum per apple. Do the math. What's your guy?
Says a healthy coffee tree can produce about 4,000 coffee beans per year.
A healthy coffee tree. Now, can I take this to church real quick? How many did you say? 4,000?
4,000 a year.
Did he not say in the Bible that men will give back into your bosom 4 times? In an apple tree, apples will produce at least 4 seeds per apple. And if you got a mature, healthy coffee tree, you're going to get 4,000 coffee beans. How much of that is in your pocket and working for you? Oh. Come on, Brother Pearl. You just... Yeah, but if it's working for you, I wish somebody get, if it's working for you, it produces for you, and now you figure out what's your next stage in life. You trying to live a life and you hadn't planned nothing, you hadn't planted nothing, you're not producing nothing, so you can't prosper nothing. And you trying to walk around looking like a hot Tootsie Roll. I don't play when it comes to money. Am I making sense? You trying to walk around like you looking like a hot Tootsie Roll. Don't have 2 nickels in that purse. You got more money in your mail piece than you have in your bank account. I mean, nobody wants me to teach my finances no more, do they? Go ahead, sir.
Only people that don't want to talk about money is people that don't have it.
Yeah. And get mad at me. He just talking about, don't nobody, I didn't even know you was watching. You are not that important to me. Yeah, to just be talking about you. This ain't no Emmy, no Golden Globe Award. This is successful living, talking about real people. Looking for real opportunities. If you don't plan it, you can't plan it. If you can't plan it, you can't produce it. If you can't produce it, you can't prosper. Because you get caught up on having money to spend. You should get caught up on how you making money and putting that money into investments. Ain't nobody in the family want to live with less, produce more, and reap a harvest. If I was closing, be the new Abraham of 2025. Because what people have never broken down from the biblical perspective. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to have to look over here because I think it's some violence over there. People People have never broken down. Yeah, people in here talking about, ooh, boy, as soon as we get off here, I need y'all to come and get me. Oh, please help me. No, but I'm just saying, you have to understand everything that Abraham had. See, because people tried to minimize it. Now, they saw it, but they don't want you to see it. They don't want you to see that if you have goats, they produce. If you have cattle, they produce. If you have vegetation, they produce. If you have fruit trees, they produce. You always have something that can make you something, and then you put people to make sure you make what you make while you go create. I would say personally, I would want to own the coffee. Yeah, I'm just saying. Your own best